Hi, I'm Elly. Today I'm going to read you a story called The Mind Reader. Are you ready to listen? Okay, I'm going to reread this book. Wait a minute. Okay, and there are Plunkett Street School. There is a school, and there are really many students. And there is one student called Rahib, and another student who is called Nelson. And usually Nelson hides Rahib's things, and Nelson asks, "What? Do you know what I am going to hide today?" Actually, Nelson was going to hide Rahib's hat, and Rahib says, "I know, you're going to hide my hat," he says. So he says, "No, I'm not," but Rahib says, "I am too." And actually, Rahib's uncle tells him how to read minds. Okay, and Nelson says he couldn't read minds, but Ruby heard them saying, and she says, "What am I thinking now, Rahib?" Then Leon, someone called Leon passes the ball in the wrong way, so it hit Ruby's head, and the ball flew all the way. And Rahib read, "You think that cricket is a stupid game and they have to play anything else, then that was right." But Nelson says, "But Ruby always thinks that cricket is stupid." He tells like that. And then Ruby told Beatrice and Brooke about the Rahib's mind reading. Then Beatrice and Brooke tells all the class that Rahib can read minds. Everyone says, "What? Can you read minds? Can you read my mind?" They asked like that. And someone even asked, "I'm going to borrow my cricket ball for you one day. And please tell what I'm thinking. Please tell what my mind is thinking about." Even like that. So then Rahib was really impressed, and he was like this. But Nelson says no. And whatever he says, everyone feels like that. Like when it was Ruby, he says everyone do like that. And then they were talking about that. Nelson says, "What am I talking now? What am I talking now, Rahib?" And Rahib says, But they're coming so many thoughts at once. So he said he couldn't read minds. Then Nelson says, "I told you he couldn't read minds, but everyone says that Nelson's mind was messy, and Rahib can read minds, but Nelson's mind is messy." And Nelson says, "No, it's not. My mind is not messy, but Beatrice and Brooke is really noisy, so they tell everyone Nelson has a messy mind." Nelson has a messy mind going all over the monkey bars. And then when it was a little time to play, there was some teacher coming through, and they were talking about the mind reading, and his name was Mr. Sarup. And he said, "Hello kids, my name is," and Rahib says, "Mr. Sarup." Rahib says, and actually there was a name tag. So Nelson said, "Everyone can see the name tag. You have to hit the name tag." But he said, "Oh, excellent. Maybe Rahib, and maybe you can read minds." He thought like that, and he wanted to know everyone's names. But Nelson told his name was Nigel, but everyone says, "No, he's Nelson." And teacher know everyone's names now. And that Mr. Sarup told them and told Rahib, "Okay, can you guess what I'm going to make them play?" Then he was actually hiding some cricket ball, but Rahib saw that cricket ball with his eyes. Then he says, "Cricket," he says, and that's right. But Nelson didn't see that cricket ball, so he said, "Well, you're a sports teacher, so you meant to teach a sport. Then he says, well, but there are many sports in the world. And he says, so Nelson actually couldn't see the cricket ball, so he just says, you're meant to tell a sport like that. And then he decided, then let's, and he saw Ruby's piece of paper and said, what is this? Then he asked, and Ruby says, it's a piece of paper I like to draw. So she said, well, then let's guess what Ruby will draw this time. And then Rahib, wait a minute, his name, Rahib, he says, and he thinks a little bit a moment, and he says, Ruby's going to draw horses. And then Ruby says, it's right, I really love horse. I'm not loving, but Nelson says, no, Ruby always been drawing up some horses, he said. But Holly said, no, she doesn't. He said that, she said that once she found someone that looks like Bruno on, and lots of heart shapes on it. That Bruno says, oh, really? You draw me? He says, but Ruby said quickly, it wasn't you. He said, it's someone who looks like you, and they were not hearts, and they were fire. Yeah. It's not heart, and it's fireworks. Ruby said quickly, then Bruno said, who looks like me? A little bit sad. And he said, then Rahib says, Bruno, I think you have to go to the toilet. But Bruno really many goes to the toilet. His score was really high. And Nelson said, but Bruno always goes to the toilet. But then Rahib says, no, he's not, he cried. And Rahib says, Nelson, I think you have to calm your mind. Then Nelson says, leave my mind alone, Nelson says. And Nelson was really angry about the mind reading thingy. And now it was almost time to go home, but Beatrice and Brooke, they are really best friends, and they always sound, when Rahib says anything, they say ooh ah like these things. And when it was almost time to get home, they finishes the class at 3 o'clock, and when it was almost 3 o'clock, Rahib says, I think Mr. Zapple is about to ring the bell this time, and Beatrice and Brooke says, ooh, ah, and Nelson says, Mr. Zapple always rings the bell at 3 o'clock, and Bruno says, well, you don't have to be a mind reader, just, it's a plain old time, but then Ruby says, you don't have to be but actually Rahib said, I can't read minds. He said, then I know, said Ruby, I knew it all the time, because I can. Because that means that Ruby can read minds, and she can read Rahib's mind. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you mind read?
No, I can't.
But who can mind read then? How?
Psychologist, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Do you want to read someone's mind?
No.
Yeah, me too. I don't want to read.
But if some nasty person, if there is some nasty person, if you read his mind, I think I'll be a little bit scared. Or
yeah.
Or if someone thinks that I'm bad, if someone thinks not great things to me, I think if I listen, I'll not feel really that great.
Yeah, me too. I think so.
So I think just not knowing the mind and just not. I don't want to be a mind reader.
Yes, me too.
But I'm just really curious how they read minds.
Supernatural power or just a guessing, I guess.
But it is. These people have supernatural power?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Again, today I review a story called The Mind Reader. Okay, thank you for seeing this video. Bye.